So what's your reaction on this recent attack which is happening in Pahalgam?
I think, it is one of shock and revulsion. Like all of our countrymen, I think there is a huge amount of condemnation of this incident, and also a sense that human being could stoop so low as to murder innocent civilians just on the basis of their religion. But there is a larger purpose behind this, and those who are the sponsors of this act of terrorism obviously have something more in mind. It is a planned incident. It has come at a particular time, and it is designed to create that sort of anger and condemnation that you see in our country. So what are these people aiming at? What do they want? And of course, needless to say, they want to also ensure that the success of mainstreaming Jammu and Kashmir as a result of the abrogation of Article 370 is also called into question, because Prime Minister Modi's effort to make sure that Jammu and Kashmir and the people of Jammu and Kashmir experience the fruits of development. I was there when we hosted the G20 meeting on tourism in Srinagar. It was a game changer. When people saw hundreds of foreign delegates coming to Srinagar from countries that earlier had issued advisories against travel to Kashmir, I think people of Jammu and Kashmir realized that there is a turning point, and there is a peace dividend. In the year 2023, we saw 2 crore tourists come to Jammu and Kashmir. The sort of dividend from tourism was huge. So from that point of view, I think every Kashmiri has benefited both from the tourist inflows and from the development initiatives that the Government of India has taken in J&K. And now you also have an elected government in the Union Territory. So the conditions were such that I think peace was the order of the day, and more people were visiting Jammu and Kashmir. People of Jammu and Kashmir were becoming stakeholders in the peace process. And the idea of these sponsors of terrorism from across our border has been to try and put an end to this positive momentum in India. I mean, their effort is always to distract India, to weaken India, to ensure that the objectives that the people of India and the leadership have put into place are somehow stymied, and somehow I think they want to reverse the clock through terrorism. And we've always seen that Pakistan has reverted to terrorism every time it feels that India is making progress. Whether it is 26/11, whether it is Pulwama, whether it is Pahalgam, the fact is that those who are part of the deep state in Pakistan, and we heard the comments of the Chief of Army Staff just recently about Kashmir being the juggler of Pakistan, and how I think many of his statements were purely communal in nature. That gave you an indication that the deep state is not going to rest easily, and they are reverting back to their traditional form of terrorism. So a response to this has to be very, very strong, not just from India, but from the entire international community.
So India, after the incident, India got support from the Russia, America, and all, as well as China. Do you think this will definitely give extra strength to fight against this terrorism?
I mean, the whole world is with us, because there is no place for terrorism in today's context. In 2019, when the Pahalgam attacks took place, I was in the United States, and President Trump said that India had the right to self-defense. This time, after the Pahalgam terrorist attack, President Trump has said that I am with Prime Minister Modi, I am with India. Similarly, President Putin of Russia has also come out very strongly in our favor. And every country in the world practically has come out condemning terrorism and the attacks that took place. Even countries like Turkey and Iran have talked about Jammu and Kashmir and condemned the terrorist attacks. So I think the world is with us, and I think it is high time we isolated Pakistan both diplomatically, and there should be, every time they do this sort of thing, there should be a very, very strong retaliation.
So yesterday many decisions have been taken by the government of India. So do you think this will definitely act India to fight against this terrorism?
Yeah, I think the Cabinet Committee on Security under the leadership of the Prime Minister has taken some very quick decisions to diplomatically censure Pakistan. One of this has been to put the Indus Treaty in abeyance, but also I think to cut down our diplomatic engagement with Pakistan. The High Commission strength has been reduced. Military attaches on both sides have been asked to leave. and I think any loopholes in our visa system, including the SARC visa system, have been curtailed. So in many senses, we have taken steps both to, I think, diplomatically send a message to Pakistan, but also to further enhance our security interests.
So it's communal, one kind of communal attack made by the terrorists. What targets they are trying to give?
No, I think, as I said, I mean, the incident and the people who perpetrated it are only, I would say, the final act. But the main thing is who has thought about this, who has planned and organized this, where have they got the wherewithal from? The training, the planning, the information, the inputs, the support, weapons, etc., and the ability to cross borders. I think there is clearly, as I said, a very sinister hand behind this, and I think we need to. Basically, there should be a very clear thing. If you indulge in acts of terrorism, you have to pay for it. That is why when US President Trump says that India has the right to self-defense, we must exercise the right to self-defense. So diplomatic way is one way, and we must pursue that. But we must also send a salutary lesson that terrorism does not pay. Every time you indulge in terrorism, we will act, and we will act disproportionately.
And what will be the next step?
That is, for government to decide based on, all the information at our disposal.
So lastly, what's your message to the people of the Kashmiris? They have lost almost, it is a basically tourist-based region, so what is your message to them?
I think Kashmiris have become stakeholders in the peace process. They understand that their best interests lie in supporting the Constitution of India and the unity of our country. And in that, they will be the greatest beneficiaries because their standard of living will rise. Their children will not be subject to, all sorts of, let's say, violence, etc., which any incidents would foster. And most important of all, I think, there is no future in Pakistan. Places in Pakistan want to break away. Pakistan occupied Kashmir, Balochistan. Why would Jammu and Kashmir want any other future except with a country that is today the fourth largest economy in the world and is growing in a way that will take all its citizens to far, far greater heights and opportunities.
So any possibilities of war against Pakistan? What do you think?
Any possibilities?
Any possibilities of war against Pakistan, declare war against Pakistan?
Well, I mean, I don't think Pakistan poses that sort of threat to us anymore. As we used to say, we don't even have to look at Pakistan in our rearview mirror now. It is adequate to I think, make sure that they learn that lesson that terrorism does not pay. I don't think any country is interested in, any conflict or war. We have always been for peace, but we will not tolerate any, and I'm just saying that as a citizen, we will not tolerate any acts of terrorism against our people. I mean, that is an absolute red line, and it is incumbent on us to act in conformity with that principle.